a fantastic place, and I'd absolutely encourage anybody that's passing through Geraldine to call in and check you out.
Well, I bought the building in July last year, and we spent 3 months renovating it, and we opened in the last weekend in November.
Hey, you've got a fantastic collection in here. Lots of artillery pieces, lots of vehicles. You mentioned earlier on that most of them are runners.
Everything that's in here is a runner. Nothing comes in here unless it's will run.
Right.
Our biggest problem is being able to keep them running while they're here, and we often take them out on displays and stuff like that and change them around because there's nothing worse than having them parked up for months at a time and not running.
Yeah. I did notice some big doors on the side of the building. What was this building? Was it purpose built or?
No, it was originally a garage. It was Morrison Brothers Garage, and they had a dealership here, plus a workshop and plus pumps out the front.
Right. So perfect place to be able to.
And it blends in with the rest of the town and really what I wanted to do.
So yeah, I mean on that, what is your rationale? Why did you go down this track?
Well, I got a small farm and got a big shed over there, and my son said to me a little while ago, what are we going to do if something happens to you, and what are we going to do with all the equipment and all the vehicles and stuff that you've got? We need to have a plan. And so all this stuff has been left in a trust to my son and my grandson. So we decided to buy a building, and so this is what we did. Right. We never set it out to be a museum. It was just that I got approached by several people who had other exhibits and that, and they wanted to display them. So I got 2 or 3 other guys together with Hamish Bruce and 1 or 2 others, and I said, look, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly, and this is the result.
So you mentioned 2 or 3 other guys, so it's a combined collection. I mean, it's not just your stuff.
No, most of the vehicles belong to me, but 1 or 2 of the other vehicles are on loan from people around Canterbury. The Vietnam display was given to us by Murray Dempster from Waimate, and it had sat in the shed for years and years, and only a very few people had seen it, and he wanted to bring it out on display. So that's where we really started, was we put the Vietnam display in and sort of built everything around it. And then there was 1 or 2 other guys came on board with the German display, and then the Padres display here is owned by another person, and it's just gone from there.
So it's definitely a community sort of.
It is, yeah.
But you say it's the bulk of the vehicles, your stuff is in a trust, so you've got that trust over the top of everything, presumably. Yeah,
so that they're preserved, and none of these vehicles are allowed to be sold outside New Zealand, so they're going to be kept here.
So the 6 or 7 months that you've been open, I mean, how's it been going?
Oh, it's been great. We haven't done any advertising at all, apart from Facebook. And I would say we average 40 to 50 people during the week, and up to over 120 during the week on a Saturday and a Sunday sometimes. Right. We're also encouraging, and have got a lot of schools have come through, and we have a lot of the rest homes and that come out and go through it, and so we just let them in. We don't charge them or anything. We didn't really build this to make money. And as long as it pays for itself, we're more than happy.
Right, and it's doing that so far.
And it's doing that now. You know, since we opened in the last week in November, I haven't had to put any money in to keep it running. And we employ John, who's coming down from Blenheim. We employ him full time to run it, and 1 or 2 other volunteers help out. And yeah, it seems to work really well.
So, in terms of, I mean, you mentioned bringing vehicles in and out at times, obviously to keep them running, and presumably there's plenty of other things that you can swap in and keep the displays changing a little bit as well.
Yeah, we do, and we take the Scorpion tank out on charity events and shows and stuff like that, and it's not only our advertising, but it's good for the community, and we just had we've got a Gamma goat as well, and we just took that to a small school to raise money for some of their building funds and that, and you know, we're more than happy to do that sort of thing.
You've certainly got some interesting bits and pieces in here. I'm particularly taken with the New Zealand pattern carrier, the car here. There can't be many of those left around the country.
Well, that's the last one left. There was 76 or something built at the end of the war for the Indian Army, and when the war finished they didn't take them, so the forestry took them all, and they took all the armour off them, and they used them as tankers, except 8, and the New Zealand Army kept 8. And then when Korea started, they sent 6 to Korea, and on the way over the ship sank, so there was 2 left. There was this one and another one, so they sent these 2 over, and at the end of the war they brought them back to New Zealand. One was stripped and this one was sort of left pretty derelict, and it was picked up by a guy called Paul Whiting in Rolleston, and he refurbished it and got it going, and then it sat in the shed for a long time, and I saw it there and made him an offer and that he couldn't refuse, and he sold it to me on the proviso that it was never to leave New Zealand. And we did a wee bit more work to it and got it up and running, and that's what you see today. You know, the last one left in the world.
So, plans for the future? I mean, you've obviously got a great setup and it's running, as you say. I mean, it's essentially cost neutral at the moment, and you've got the trust in place, so it's protecting the vehicles and the fact that they're going to stay here. You've got other people on board with their own exhibits and things. As I say, do you have plans for the future, or have you sort of hit the peak at the moment, just seeing how things go?
We're sort of levelling out a bit to sort of look at our. We can't expand. The building is as big as it is. The only way we could do is go up, but we really don't want to do that. But I think providing we change and don't keep things static, the people will continue to come back. And we have a lot of people coming here. I've had one guy here 4 times, he says, and every time I come here I see something different, and so that's good. And we try and do simple displays that people don't really think of, like, you know, a chaplain's display. We've got a guy in a hoochie over there with all this bedding and that. Nobody ever sees that unless you've been in the army. We've got a ration pack display. Who knows what's in a ration pack? So it's quite simple stuff, but really effective stuff, and this is what we've tried to show off. In
terms of being here in Geraldine, I mean, some could argue that you're sort of out in a bit of a backwater, but at the end of the day, with the inland road here, a lot of people do come through. Families coming through this way. You mentioned earlier on setting up some stuff for the kids to have a look at. I mean, how you know, are they coming in and enjoying it? Or?
Oh, they're loving it. Absolutely loving it. And we're having families coming all the way from Dunedin, especially to come here, down from Christchurch, especially to come here. I'd probably say, in defence of that, half the people that come through here are just visitors to the town, and they see the building, and it really does stand out. And they come on in. But we're having a lot of not bus tours, but groups of people from all over the South Island coming for a weekend to Geraldine, and one of their points of to visit is the museum. Yeah, and what we've got to show here, I think, and a lot of people, you only got to look at our comments book, is pretty unique, and the town have been 100% behind us, the businesses have been 100% behind us, the council, you know, so what more can you ask for? And being right next door to the RSA, it's a bonus, and so.
Oh, Don, that's great. I mean, it's a fantastic place, and I'd absolutely encourage anybody that's passing through Geraldine to call in and check you out. You've got great opening times, plenty of hours in the day for people to call in and have a look, and certainly if you've been in before, call in again, because things are always being changed around.
And we don't think it's overly priced. You know, I think they get pretty good value for what we've got to offer. And you know, at the end of the year we'll do a wash up, and if we've got any money left over, we'll just give it to a charity or something like that. So.
Oh, that's excellent. Long may it continue. Thanks very much, Don.
No worries. Cheers.